What's going on, everyone? Look, y'all can see the topic. Today, we're going to be discussing how to get a six-figure tech job and also avoid layoffs. So in today's time, there's two different things that most people are struggling with, and it's usually one of each. Let me enhance my screen a little bit. Enhance my screen. So we're going to be covering both. So make sure y'all have y'all notes ready because this is going to be a workshop, a master class. I'm going to be giving y'all a lot of sauce. So we run a little bit late, so I'm going to go ahead and start to jump into it. So first off, let me know where y'all are tuning in from. Let me know if the audio sounds good. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Also, let me know what it is that you are trying to do in the tech industry. So not just what you do. So let me know what you do and what you are transitioning to in the chat. Let me know what you do in tech and what you are transitioning to. So today I'm going to be showing y'all how to get a job in tech the traditional way with all the tips, all the nuggets, the gems. And I'm also going to show you how to have AI get you a job in tech. So we're going to be covering both. Let me go ahead and pin this real quick, specifically on Instagram. Okay. So again, we're going to be covering how to get a six-figure tech career, but also how to avoid layoffs. Nobody is teaching people how to not get laid off. Right now, a lot of people are worried about layoffs, and people always bring up to me like, Cyrus, why don't you talk about the layoffs? Or Cyrus, why aren't you worried about the layoffs? I've never been worried about a layoff. And there are reasons why. I've taught on it before. But today I'm going to show you how to use AI to avoid layoffs. So everybody's afraid about getting laid off by AI. No one is talking about how you can leverage AI to avoid being laid off. All right, so all right. Cool. I'm gonna go ahead and pin this comment. Boom. It's pinned. All right, bet. Let's rock and roll. That should be all we need. All right, cool. Let's get it. Well, look, I don't see a lot of comments from the YouTubers, so I'm gonna need y'all to be just a little bit more vocal to my YouTubers. So my YouTubers, LinkedIn audience, where y'all at? So again, make sure y'all are ready with your questions. Make sure you are taking notes because this is going to be worth taking notes. This is about to be a masterclass of how to get a tech job, how to negotiate your salary if you're already in tech, and also how to protect yourself from layoffs. So let me configure my screen just a little bit better, and then we'll go ahead and jump straight into it. All right, that should be good. And then I'll do this. Okay, cool. All right, we should be good now. All right, good stuff, y'all. All right, so look, let's jump into it. So first off, for those, jump way too far ahead. Did we jump far ahead? Okay, cool. All right, so just a little bit about me. For those of y'all who don't know, I've helped a little bit more than 10,000 people get in the tech industry. Also, this PowerPoint y'all are looking at, I created this with AI, by the way. So some of it might be wrong because I literally had AI make it. I was at the barbershop and I was using talk to text with Claude, and I told Claude what I was going to talk about tonight. So Claude made this PowerPoint. Some of it is probably not accurate, but we don't care about stuff being perfect. It's about the education y'all are about to get, not the PowerPoint. The PowerPoint is just here just to keep us all on track. But that being said, for those who don't know me, I've helped a little over 10,000 people get six-figure tech careers. That's without degrees, that's with degrees, that's with boot camps, that's without boot camps, that's with me doing coaching or with me referring them to a boot camp, with them watching my podcast. I've had the #1 tech career podcast in the United States, Tech is the New Black, is well as, oh yeah, and also one of the students, so I have a boot camp. I'm not pitching my boot camp, but I do have a boot camp. It's specific for AI engineering. Literally, we have students that are getting jobs. One of our graduates who finished the boot camp in less than 1 month, she got a $180,000 tech job just last week. It was last week or the week before. I'm going to be interviewing her next week. So that being said, our program covers, we have AI engineering, AI business, and also AI with tech sales. So if anybody is interested in that, just comment AI career. If you're on Instagram, if you're on YouTube and LinkedIn, really you just have to like message me about it. But again, I'm not here to talk about the boot camp. I'm here to give y'all a real breakdown of how to scale in tech. I'm speaking to those of you who've already done a boot camp or you've already went to college to get in tech, but you either don't have a tech job yet, you aren't getting paid yet, you're afraid of layoffs, or you're trying to scale further. So I'm really talking to those of you who are already in tech or you're trying to get in tech and either you're afraid of layoffs or you aren't able to get in the industry and you've been trying to. Let me know in the chat who you are. Let me know if you're in tech and you're afraid of layoffs, or let me know if you're trying to get in tech and you've been having a tough time. Let me know which one you are. So either comment, I'm afraid of layoffs, or comment, I'm trying to get in tech. I'm trying to get a tech job. Either way, what we're going to cover today is going to help both audience members. All right, cool. So what we're going to cover today, we're going to cover the application process. So I'm going to tell y'all, these are the main reasons, these topics I have here, these are the main reasons most people are either not breaking into tech, why most people are not scaling, or why a lot of people have whack salaries. Because I say this all the time, if you've been in tech for over a year and you're not making over $100,000, you either are not in tech and you're mistaken, or you're doing something wrong, which might even be the company. So if you've been in tech for a year or more and you are not at $100,000, something is wrong. But we'll address that. So today I'm gonna show y'all exactly all of the stuff y'all see here. People book me for coaching sessions. I don't really like doing a lot of coaching sessions because I'm busy. And so that being said, these are the main reasons. I've been doing coaching sessions for over 3 years. Again, I've helped thousands of people get in the tech industry. These are the key reasons why people who have education are not getting in tech. Now, if you have not done a boot camp, then this stuff here is probably not going to help you unless you already have some crazy corporate experience. That being said, the main issues are that a lot of people have a terrible application process. Most people don't even know what an application process is, which is totally cool. Let me know in the chat if you don't know what an application process is. Let me know. So a lot of people think that all you do with the application process is you just look up a job and you apply to the job. That's not an application process. That used to work probably 15 years ago, but that doesn't work today. That doesn't fly today. So a lot of people have a bad application process, or they don't even have an application process. The other thing is that oftentimes people don't have a tailored resume and tailored cover letter, meaning that you have a standard, either generic resume, or you have a good resume, but it's still not tailored specific to the company that you are applying to or the companies you're applying to. The other issue is that a lot of people don't have proper interview preparation. 9 times out of 10, someone thinks preparing for an interview, not even 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, people think preparing for an interview means looking up the company's website and studying the company's website for 2 hours and memorizing random generic information about the company's website. How many of y'all know knowing information about a company does not get you a job? Like, I've interviewed on my podcast, I have interviewed over 100 top level tech professionals. Only one time Did someone ever tell me them knowing a lot of stuff about the company helped them get an interview? It didn't help them get the job. It helped them get an interview because they were networking with somebody and the person was impressed with how much they know. So I've done over 500 interviews, all different types of interviews. Only one person ever said them knowing a lot of stuff about the company helped them get an interview. So we're going to talk about the interview process, like interview preparation, how to make sure you are fully ready. We're also going to talk about salary and total compensation negotiation. Negotiating your total comp, negotiating your salary is not the same thing as negotiating your total compensation. That's why when I got in tech and after my first year, I was making more money after my first year in tech than a lot of people were making 5 or 10 years in. And of course, you know, got to give glory to God for that. I can't take all the credit. Definitely got to give glory to God for that. But there is strategy that God graced me to be able to find out, whether strategy God gave me or strategy that I got through people that God allowed me to meet. So again, we're going to cover these pieces. And then the last piece is avoiding layoffs, how to protect your position. Everyone's so worried about layoffs, and I'm not saying layoffs are not something to worry about to some degree, but I'm going to show you all how you don't need to worry about layoffs, why I don't worry about layoffs, why most of my colleagues don't worry about layoffs. I have never worried about a layoff, ever. And I'm going to show you all how to avoid layoffs. And then I'm going to show you, with all of the stuff y'all see here, I'm going to show you how to leverage AI to do this. So I'm going to show y'all the manual way to do this. And I have AI that if you don't want to do all of this stuff, I have AI that does all of this for you. It helps you. Literally, it's AI that helps you avoid layoffs. It's AI that helps you with your application process, tailor resume and cover letter, interview preparation, salary negotiation. And it does more than this. It does more than this. It even helps you with your LinkedIn. That's another piece I didn't have on here. I should have had LinkedIn optimization on here. That's actually a huge piece that I did not cover, or that I'm not going to be covering today. Anyway, that being said, let me know in the chat which one of these are the one you are most interested in. So comment 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 based on which one of these you are most interested in learning about. Let me know. Talk to me. All right, we got Cherokee says, I'm trying to get in tech. 24 forever, still trying to break into tech. Sterling, okay, a lot of y'all saying y'all trying to get into tech. Okay, somebody said, Elo3 says, I'm in tech. I have already been laid off. Okay, this is going to help. This is going to help you. So this is going to help you, Elo, get back in tech, and it's going to help you avoid layoffs. All right, we got a lot of people saying number 4. So a lot of y'all want that salary negotiation, total comp negotiation. All right, see number 1 for application process. All right, Gregory says major sauce. Yeah, y'all, we about to get into it. All right, Lawrence D. Code says they're a senior software engineer and DevRel. What's DevRel? DevRel, Dev Relations, Developer Relations, Dev Relations here. What's up, fam? Here to support. Good stuff, good stuff. 1, 2, 3. Okay, somebody said 1, 2, 3. Hey, look, it should be 1 through 5. I'll just mess with y'all. All right, look, let's jump into it. Let's jump into it. I ain't here to waste y'all time. I'm here to bless y'all time. All right, cool. So first piece. So again, we are going to talk about the manual process to do all of these things. And then we're going to talk about how to leverage AI. I have AI. It's AI you're able to leverage. It's a full system. Now, the AI that I'm going to show y'all is AI I have only allowed for my boot camp students for the past 6 months, really the past 9 months. So myself and my team, we built our own AI that does all of this stuff. I've never, ever shown this publicly before because we made it just for our boot camp students. But I realized, okay, you know what? Let's go ahead and put other people on too. Let's put other people, because a lot of y'all don't need a boot camp. Some of y'all do, a lot of y'all don't. So it's like, you know what? Let me stop gatekeeping. I talk a lot about gatekeepers. Let me stop gatekeeping. Let me give this to y'all, something that's been helping a lot of our students and colleagues be able to get into tech faster and protect themselves from layoffs. No one has technology that's protecting people from layoffs. So we're really happy about this. That being said, so let's talk about the manual application process. So first off, manual application process. And again, y'all, we have a short amount of time. So this is going to be a high level overview. I don't have each one of these subjects. I could talk about each of these subjects for an hour. And I promise that's the truth, because I have 1 to 2 hour long modules over every single one of these sections. So after people finish the bootcamp education, they then get our modules and they get our career coaching sessions that go over all of these in depth. But all of these are going to be high level overviews. For those of y'all that are smart, this is going to be just enough. For those of y'all that are not as smart, then it won't be enough. I'll let you decide which category you fit into. That being said, so first we're going to talk about application process. So again, we're going to go over section 1 is application process. All right, so first off, this is what you want to do with your application process. You need to, oftentimes people apply to, first off, a lot of people, let me know in the chat. Well, you ain't gonna let me, y'all ain't gonna tell me the truth. Y'all gonna lie to me anyway. But be real with yourself. Most people don't have a real application process. Most people are just like, okay, I need a job. So then most people are like, okay, whenever they get downtime, they'll randomly apply to a few jobs. And then in another couple of days, they'll randomly apply to some more jobs. And then it's like there's no real strategy. So again, we're going to cover the manual way to do these things. And I'm going to talk about how AI can do all of this for you. So you need to have, what helped me get in tech so fast was that I had a strategy. And my strategy was to apply to 10 to 20 jobs a day. Now, mind you, I also had a schedule. I had a daily schedule, Monday through Friday. I treated it like a job. Monday through Friday, I applied to companies. And I had a set schedule where I spent like an hour applying to jobs. Then I would take a break. And then I would take another hour to apply to jobs as well. And it helped me apply to about 15 to 25 jobs a day. Now, this lands you at roughly 200 to 400 applications a month. Now, some people are like, oh, man, that's a lot. It don't take all that. Yes, it does. It does take all that. It does take all that. Because according to Google Gemini and according to many other platforms that I've researched on, the average amount of applications it takes for you to land a job, and it depends, this is across different industries in tech, and this is across different salaries and levels. The average is 200 to 1,000 applications. Now, I have students or former students where it took them 5 applications, which are the unicorn scenarios, and I have students where it took them 50 to 200 applications. And then there are people that I've worked with where it took them 500 to 1,500 applications. Either way, you are going to need to make sure you are not BSing about applying to companies. Now, again, if everything I'm about to tell y'all is going to sound like work, and that's because it is work. Who knows? It's like a job to get a high-paying job. This ain't back in the day where you just had the education. You could just show up like wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. It's competitive out here. And guess what? Not only is it competitive against people, now we have AI in the fold as well. So you have 2 options. You can deal with the pain of struggling financially, or you can deal with the more temporary pain of putting the work in to get a high-paying career. I got tired of being broke, so I did the pain of putting the work in to get a high-paying career. And I'm gonna tell y'all, it's way better. It's way better on this side. It still got problems, more money, more problems. But the money problems I prefer better than the. I mean, it ain't really money problems, but it's better over here. I'll tell you that much. That being said, let's continue to go through it. So you need to do a target of 10 to 20 applications a day, 200 to 400 a month, 300 to 500 if you're being real saucy. You also, so again, studies show that it takes 200 to 1,000 applications before landing an offer across industries, across levels. Also, you need to focus on roles where you are a top candidate. Now, how do you know you're a top candidate? Not because LinkedIn tells you you're a top candidate. You know you're a top candidate because you have transferable skills and domain expertise. You have transferable skills, and domain expertise. Transferable skills, again, is a high-level overview. If I had more time, I would share my LinkedIn screen and I would show y'all how to find the companies that you have transferable skills and domain expertise in. But for the sake of time, I'm just going to explain it. A transferable skill is sales. If you know sales, like if you're really good at sales, for the most part, you can do sales door to door. You could do sales for solar companies. You could do sales for tech. You can do sales for insurance. You can do sales for, take your pick. Sales is a skill. It's a transferable skill. Now, what is domain expert? Now, let me give a couple other transferable skills. Marketing is a transferable skill. Coding is a transferable skill. Being an AI engineer is a transferable skill. These are skills that no matter what industry you go to, you can do that specific skill. You can do it in that industry and it has value. It has value. Something that is not a transferable skill is being a firefighter. Being a firefighter, like actually doing the job of a firefighter, is a valuable skill, but that is not a transferable skill. Being a police officer is limited in it's transferable, but it's limited. It's transferable to security. It's transferable to some type of, security detail, police officer, maybe military. All of those are transferable to one another, but they are not transferable. You being a police officer, like you can't apply to Microsoft for a police officer position. Now you could apply for a security position, but your pay isn't going to be all that good. So again, transferable skill is a skill that works across every industry. Every industry. Then you have what is called domain expertise. So again, we're talking about how to find roles that you are a top candidate for. And I'm going to show y'all, you know what? I'm going to show you, because I don't want to just explain this. I am going to show y'all LinkedIn and show you specifically how to find the kind of companies I'm talking about. So what is domain expertise? So transferable skill. Let me know if y'all taking notes, because I don't teach on this stuff often. So I want to make sure that y'all taking this serious. And y'all, again, this has helped thousands of people get jobs in tech industry. So I don't go live and I don't teach this type of sauce often. So let me know y'all taking notes. But that being said, transferable skill is a skill that you can use across many industries. Now, what is domain expertise? Domain is usually a specific industry that you have mastered or you have proficient education within that industry or domain. So you can either call it domain expertise or industry expertise. Now, what does that look like? It looks like this. If you are a teacher or you've worked in the what is it called? I forget what the educational space is called. the public or private educational sector, we'll just call it that. If you worked in the public school system, if you have worked for several years to a decade or more in the public school system, that is a domain. You have worked in the domain of education. Or if you let's go back and talk about security. If you work in security for many different security companies, even though the skill of being a security officer is not transferable, the domain knowledge of the security space is transferable. And we could keep going. Healthcare, healthcare or the medical field, that is a domain. No matter what you've done in the healthcare field, if you have worked in some capacity of healthcare, now being a nurse is not a transferable skill. It's a valuable skill. Being a medical doctor is not a transferable skill. It's a valuable skill, but it's not transferable. You can't be a medical doctor at Google or at IBM. You can't be a nurse. You can't necessarily be a teacher, like a teacher at IBM or Google. But if you have worked in the domain of the medical space or the healthcare space, understand Microsoft has a lot of what's called health tech companies. There are companies that are called health tech companies. There are companies called med tech companies. There are companies called security tech companies. Who here, let me know who here in the chat, you drop a 1 in the chat if either you are a realtor, a real estate agent, or you know someone who's a realtor or real estate agent. Let me know in the chat if you are either a realtor, real estate agent, or you know someone, or you've worked in that space, in that industry. Y'all moving slow in the chat. Talk to me. Talk to me. All right, cool. So listen. There is a domain in tech that is called prop tech. Prop tech. That is an abbreviation for property technology. And guess what? All of you know about a prop tech company. Who all here, who knows about Ring? Y'all know the software where you can have the doorbell where it records you, and inside of your home, it can record stuff security wise. Ring is considered a prop tech company, property technology, because it is technology that is meant for your property. We could keep going. Who all knows about Airbnb? Everybody here knows about Airbnb. I've stayed in over 300 Airbnbs. I'm not exaggerating, because I lived in Airbnbs full time for a year and a half while I was bouncing around the world. So Airbnb is considered a property technology business, and the list goes on and on. So if you are a realtor, or you worked hotels, stuff like that, to some degree, you are familiar with the property tech space, or you are familiar with the hospitality tech space. So there's technology and tech companies that cover all of these. So again, when you are applying for positions, and again, I'm short on time, I would show it, but just understand, when you go on LinkedIn, or you go on Indeed, or you go on Glassdoor, or you go on any of these places, you can filter companies and jobs based on your skill. So let's say if you've done a boot camp, let me know in the chat, what have y'all done a boot camp in? Is it for QA? Is it for coding? Is it for tech sales? Is it for DevOps? Is it for AI engineering? Is it for software engineering? Is it for business analysts? Like, what is it for? Let me know in the chat what you either do in tech or what you're trying to do in tech. But whatever you're trying to do, when you finish a boot camp, that means you have the skill. You have the skill. But when you're applying to companies, you need to find companies that match with the domain that you have expertise in. So if you've worked in sales, if you've done a tech sales, let's say you did a tech sales boot camp, or you've worked a lot in sales. Let's say you did a tech sales boot camp. It's easy. Let's say you did a tech sales boot camp, but let's say your domain expertise is with phone companies. Let's say you worked at T-Mobile. Let's say you worked at Verizon. You worked at AT&T. You worked at, Sprint. I don't even know if Sprint is around anymore. Let's say you worked at 2 or 3 of those companies. You could literally get a tech sales job at T-Mobile. And I'm not talking about working at the counter, with no shade to anybody that works at the counter at T-Mobile. But you can get a tech sales job where you are selling B2B software to major companies with T-Mobile. And now you're getting $150,000 to $250,000 salary working either remote or working in the T-Mobile office, not the store, in their corporate offices and headquarters where you're making $250,000 salary. So again, you can take the skill, the skill set of sales, and then you can match it with the domain of working for telecommunication companies, and you can get at a one of those type of tech companies. Same thing. You can take the skill of tech of sales, and let's say you used to work in the healthcare space. Who knows? My number one episode of my podcast today was me interviewing a woman who was working in healthcare all her life. all her adult life. She's worked in healthcare. She did a tech sales boot camp, and then she ended up being able to leverage that to get in the tech industry. And so again, you have your skills and then you have the domain. Most people aren't getting interviews because they're not matching both. They're just seeing a job opening and they're applying. My first tech company that I worked at, I never shared this before, what I'm about to share now. The first tech company I ever worked at is called Dialpad. They are literally called a telephony tech company. Telephony is where we get the word telephone from. So Dialpad, just like similar to T-Mobile and Sprint and all of them. Now they're not like a phone company, but they are still in that kind of that industry, telephony. Because my background, I used to work, I leveraged that in my application and in my interviews, that I worked at telephony companies. I worked at for Verizon Wireless before. I think they're the only one I worked for. Yeah, there's the only one I worked for. But I leveraged that. So I had the skills of a tech salesperson from the boot camp. I had the domain expertise of someone who worked at Verizon Wireless. So I was able to leverage that to get a job at a telephony tech company. So, okay, I see cybersecurity, a lot of cybersecurity people here in the chat. Yeah. So that's in demand, in demand. I'm gonna tell y'all, people who have cybersecurity skills, if you did a boot camp or you went to college for cybersecurity and you don't have a job, because that's a very in demand space. Yes, it's very competitive, but it also is very in demand. So that means there's something you're missing, because cybersecurity is hot. AI is only making cybersecurity more hot and more in demand. So y'all are in a great field. Sometimes people come to me and they're like, "Oh, Cyrus, I did a boot camp for web development." I'm like, "Good luck. I can't help you." But if you did cybersecurity, AI engineering, something high level like that, even tech sales, man, there's opportunities out here. So anyway, that being said, so this is just a high level overview. So again, you gotta match your skills with the domain you have experience in. The other thing you need to do, you gotta track your applications in a spreadsheet. You need an application tracker. I promise you, it doesn't matter how many companies you're applying to. The more you apply to, the more it's hard to keep up with all of them. Because not only do you want to apply to the companies, you need to make sure you follow up with the recruiters or whoever posted the job posting with a tailored LinkedIn message, not a generic one. Generic ones get ignored. And so now, of course, monthly, you're going to be managing 200 plus applications. Again, really the goal is for it to be around 400 or 500 applications a month. So hold on, why am I so small down here? I don't like that. Oh, do I like that? I'm not sure if I like that. I don't like that. Let me go back to how it was. All right, cool. Someone asked, do certs matter? I'm gonna get to the questions in just a second. All right, y'all. So look, so we covered all of this stuff. You need to track every application. You need to have a tailored LinkedIn DM message to the recruiter. And again, y'all, this is just section 1. We got 5 sections to cover. I don't even think we got enough time. I might have to split this into a part 1 and a part 2. Let me know, are y'all enjoying this education? Are y'all enjoying this information? Do y'all see the value in this? Or does this just sound like fluff to y'all? Does this just sound like some BS information? Please let me know. I want to make sure I'm giving y'all some good gems right now. Now, again, I can't go in depth because each one of these sections I'm covering could be an hour to 2 hour lesson by itself. And also, people in my boot camp, like they've gotten all the sessions and stuff. So I can't just I can't put 10 hours of education just out here like that. I don't know. Maybe I will. I don't know. We shall see. Anyway, that being said, so I might. I'm thinking about it. Anyway, so you need to manage all this stuff. Now, also, of course, this is going to be a part-time job. It's going to require about 2 to 3 hours a day, at least 5 days a week. Now, this is what I had to do. This is what I had to do. Now, again, I have AI that does this stuff for you. So again, every section we're going to cover, I'm going to highlight my AI and how my AI can do it for you. And so, all right, it's going to be a little janky. I got to exit full screen. All right, cool. All right, boom. So Layoff Proof AI is my AI. And again, I'm just going to highlight the sections I just covered for y'all. So we're not going to cover everything, but just the pieces that I just covered for y'all. How do I move this over to where it's to the left? Oh, I'm tripping. Anyway, so we're not going to cover all this, but we have AI. So one, we have AI that applies to jobs for you. Our AI auto applies to jobs for you. Now, the AI that we have, it doesn't just apply to jobs for you. It does up to 2,000 jobs a month. It literally not only applies to jobs, it finds the jobs that you are a top candidate for. So it does it completely passive. Jobs that you're a top candidate for based on your domain expertise and based on your transferable skills. It also creates a application tracker for you automatically. So it fills all the information. And the application tracker also includes the recruiter outreach generator, where it gives you specific messages that are tailored to the person who posted the job at that company. Now, I'm not going to just tell y'all. I'm going to show y'all a quick highlight, a little bit of detail of what it looks like. Now, mind you, I don't have all of my information filled in here, but you'll be able to see a little bit that's in here. Now, that ain't my real phone number. So if somebody trying to be slick, you can use it. I don't care if you use it because it ain't my number. That being said, so in here, you fill in all your information one time. Takes about 5 to 7 minutes to fill everything in. And then after that, the AI has everything it needs to apply to hundreds to thousands of jobs for you every single month, with a resume that gets updated for every company that it applies to, and a cover letter that gets updated for every company that it applies to. So, and it works for all of these platforms, whether you want it applying to LinkedIn or applying to Well-Found, Glassdoor. It says Indeed is coming soon, but Indeed is actually Glassdoor's is actually their job board for filling out applications. So we already have Indeed and Monster. So to give you an example of what this looks like, I'll give y'all a quick example. So this is Well-Found. This is a platform for finding startup companies. So the reason why you don't want to just rely on LinkedIn when it comes to finding a job, because LinkedIn, there are a lot of startup companies that are not on LinkedIn. LinkedIn does not have a lot of startups because LinkedIn charges a lot more. So platforms like Well-Found and Monster are really good for different types of jobs, but especially Well-Found. This is good for finding startups. A startup is typically a company that has money from investors, but they're not very well known, so they usually don't have as many applicants. So I'll give you an example of what it looks like with our software. So we have our own extension that applies to jobs for you. And literally, because it already has all of my information, all I have to do, can y'all see it? Oh, y'all can't even see it. It's not sharing. Whatever, y'all gonna see this. I'm clicking Start Auto Apply. Yep, y'all can see that. See, the AI is running. Oh, it's telling me to start it. My bad. See, it's telling me the AI is telling me everything it's about to do. Boom. Now the AI is running, and it's gonna start applying to different jobs and different positions that are on here. Oh yeah, my bad. I'm supposed to do search because I didn't hit the search yet. Oh, my bad. There are two different versions of it. There's a variation where it literally, you choose the company. So if you want to choose the company that applies to, you can choose the company that it applies to. Or if you want to manually do it, Or if you wanted to just do all the companies it could find, it could do it. So you can go to lunch, you could go to dinner, and it'll find the companies and it'll apply to the jobs for you 100%. So it could apply to literally 100, 200 jobs for you every single day. Now, I will tell you, we intentionally, I'm going to give y'all a tip that I shouldn't be telling y'all. Our AI doesn't move as fast as we could. We intentionally make it apply a little bit slower, because if it does too many jobs too fast, then the platform can realize that it's AI. So our AI moves at like a more realistic pace of a human who's applying to jobs. So we intentionally created buffers and hesitation within it. So someone said, how much is this? So I'll give you a few. So while it's applying, I'll go ahead and switch over. And also, again, you can click through different tabs. You can leave it. You can get up, go to lunch, go wherever, come back, and it's going to keep applying the jobs for you. So you could go on a date. You could go to the gym. And it's literally doing all of it. It applies to the jobs and stuff for you. Now, again, there's two different modes. There's one mode where you choose the companies, and then there's another mode where you just let it go. Like it just goes, it finds companies, and it starts applying. Now, again, our AI does up to 2,000 jobs a month, depending on which tier you're on. Now, again, y'all, I have more to cover. I got more education to give y'all. So this is just a quick commercial break for me showing you how our AI doesn't just make you a tailored resume, doesn't just make you a tailored cover letter. It makes it for every company it applies to for you. So your resume and cover letter are specific to the companies. It's so cool. Loki, what a time to be alive. This is so cool. So cool. When I was trying to get in tech, I would have wished I could have had something like this. Now, I'm going to give y'all another tip. There's another way you could do it if you don't want to use our AI and you just want to. Let's say you just want to. All right, I'm about to pause it. My bad, because I don't want none of these companies hit me up. All right, so now I stopped it. So now it's stopped. If I wanted to restart, I could just go back. I could click our extension, and it'll start back applying the jobs. Anyway, I just stopped it. That being said, another way that you can have jobs being applied to for you passively, you can hire a virtual assistant from either the Philippines, from Pakistan, Nigeria, anywhere. But hiring them for them to do a certain amount of jobs for you every single week, you're going to be paying them somewhere around $100 to $200 a week. So someone mentioned in the chat, how much is it? Now, again, I have more to cover with our AI and what our AI does. That's just one part of what our AI does. But just to answer your question really quickly about our AI, there's different packages where we have one package that's $19 a month. Now, this one limits you to 25 applications. It also comes with layoff radar. We have AI that protects you from layoffs. It also comes with a lot more stuff. Some of these things are marked off, but it does come with the resume, where it does a resume for each company, specifically tailored to the company. It does the tailored cover letters. It creates the recruiter DM outreach. And again, it applies to jobs for you. But this one only does a minimum of 25 or more jobs. You can choose more if you wanted to do more. Then we have, and again, I'm just doing a quick overview. Then we have Pro, which is just $59 a month. This one, again, it says 50, but we just upgraded it today for everybody. So it actually does 150 applications. And then this is the one that does 2,000 jobs a month. Now, mind you, this is actually only supposed to do 500 jobs. But for those who want it, today only, today we have it to where, because my team hasn't updated it to where the 2,000 limit is set yet, or the 500 limit is set yet. After today, this one is going to be limited to doing 500 jobs a month. And if someone wants to do, if they wanted to do 2,000, it's going to be a higher tier that goes up to $250. So if somebody wants to choose this, is literally 99. So basically $19, $59, or $99. And so if somebody, whatever, so those are the options. Now, if you're on Instagram, You just need to comment layoff proof. Y'all see the pinned comment. Just comment layoff proof for the link. It'll go to your DMs. If you're on LinkedIn, YouTube, I'm going to drop it here in the chat. Hopefully y'all can see it. Some of y'all will be able to see it. Maybe on LinkedIn, y'all won't be able to see it. You said, what about an annual plan? I'm going to be real with you. You don't need an annual plan. If it takes our software a year to get you a job, in my opinion, that's a failure. That's a failure. So yeah, most people will be able to land jobs anywhere between 1 to 3 or 4 months, depending on what you want to do. So an annual plan is unnecessary. Now, mind you, we do have an affiliate offer as well. For those who actually use the program, we do have an affiliate offer, but that's something totally separate. So some people use it longer, even after they've gotten a job, because obviously the only thing you'll need, now listen, y'all, once you get your job in tech, you can downgrade all the way to this one, because this one includes the layoff radar, where our AI alerts you 60 days in advance if your company is doing layoffs. I'm not going to tell y'all how we can do that, because I would never publicly share that information, because no one else does this. But it's actually a very simple way we're able to do it. So we're able to alert people 60 to 90 days in advance about if their company is going to be doing layoffs and if their department is likely to be affected. So that's why it's called layoff proof, because it doesn't just help you get a job, it helps protect you from layoffs as well. So what most people do, they usually start at either Layoff Proof Pro, or they start at Autopilot. And then after they get a job, they downgrade to Radar, because again, this helps them protects them from layoffs. And it still does 25 job applications, resumes, cover letters, all that stuff. So it still keeps them in position for other opportunity. For those that are on LinkedIn, I see, Adam, you commented Layoff Proof. So if you're on LinkedIn, you don't need to comment layoff proof. You actually, oh, dang. It should be in the chat. Actually, I don't think I put it in the chat. So I'm going to go to LinkedIn. Now, y'all, we got more to cover. So I'm going to hurry up so we can go to the next section, because I want to give y'all more education. I got more stuff to cover for y'all. And so I'm actually prepared to go to the next section. All right. The next section is tailored resume and cover letter. Tailored resume and cover letter. Real quick, I'm gonna go to my go to LinkedIn so I can drop this in the chat for y'all. So I'm gonna drop the link for Layoff Proof AI here in the chat. Hopefully I can pin it. So those of you that are on LinkedIn can go ahead and get it. Wow, they don't. All right, so they don't let you pin it, but it is inside of LinkedIn. So for those of y'all who want access, just look at the LinkedIn comments and you'll see that I commented the link for Layoff Proof. All right. That being said, let's go on to the next section. All right, cool. Oh, man. All right, cool. I'm going to blow this up. Whoop, wrong button. All right, present. That's what I'm supposed to do. All right, cool. All right, so tailored resume and cover letter. We're going to move faster through this one. A little bit faster through this one. All right, tailored resume and cover letter. All right, so most generic resumes get filtered out before a human ever sees it. So most people don't know. Let me know in the chat if you know this or not. 99% of the time in corporate and tech industry, recruiters are not looking at your resume until it's already been chosen for an interview, because there is something called an ATS, applicant tracking system. Literally, AI is scanning your resume and the hundreds and thousands of other resumes. AI is scanning your resume to see if you even qualify for a recruiter to even look at your resume before you get an interview. So because most people have generic resumes, or again, resumes that are not tailored specific to the company or tailored specifically to the role, your resume ranks really low. Most companies, depending on how many applications they get and how many resumes they get, most of them are only interviewing people if they rank within the top 1 to 5% of resumes. And then they filter you out. So if you're not in the top 5% of applicants, and specifically with your resume, you get filtered out. And so the applicant tracking system knows when a resume and cover letter is generic or when it's not specific to the role. That's why we make sure that our AI is specific. When it updates your resume, it updates it specifically to the company you are applying to. So you want to make sure. Now, again, I'm telling y'all the manual way to do it. So, other thing, your resume must mirror the language in the job description. This is the real complex part. You need to have certain buzzwords on your resume that lines up with the job description. The AI is literally scanning for that. The AI is looking at the job description from its company, and it's scanning your resume to make sure a certain number of keywords match up with the job description. That's why a lot of y'all be applying a job, sending your resume. You're like, man, how come I'm not hearing back? How come I keep getting, whenever y'all know when a company, let me know who in the chat has ever gotten an email, put the hand emoji, like you raising your hand. Who has gotten the email where a company says, thank you for applying. After carefully reviewing your resume, we've decided to go in another direction. Let me tell y'all, ain't nobody carefully examine your resume. They ain't even look at your resume. All of it is automation. AI looks at your resume. The company has their own software that scans your resume, and then the AI says, yeah, this person doesn't deserve an interview. And then the AI sends an automated email to you days later that says, yeah, after careful review, nah, you ain't it. Ain't no AI don't carefully review nothing. It ain't got to carefully review nothing. So that's why your resume isn't even getting looked at if it isn't in the top 5%. So that's why your resume needs to be specific to the company, and it needs to match with the language, the lingo. I see a lot of hands being raised. Exactly. Like we've all seen that. Now, of course, it takes a lot of work to tailor a resume and tailor a cover letter to every single company. Like low key, I'll be like, bro, it ain't that. Like, bro, who do y'all think y'all are that I gotta tailor my resume to y'all as if I gotta spend extra time in my day just to give y'all a perfectly curated resume and y'all still reject me. But at the same time, if you don't do it, it lowers your chances to where it makes it almost impossible for you to even get an interview. So it's a double-edged sword. It's a catch-22. So this is what you got to do. So all your bullet points need to be quantifiable metrics. Most people don't even know what that is. Like oftentimes people put on their resume. When I review resumes, whenever I do coaching sessions or I'm working with my students, one of the things I teach them is that having stuff on your resume, first off, don't have stupid. No offense. People get easily offended today. I served in the Marine Corps. I'm very articulate, but I'm from the hood. So I talk how I talk. But understand it's meant in love. I'm a man in all my masculinity. So I talk how I talk, but it's meant in love. Don't do that stupid stuff people do where they put on a resume. I'm attention detailed. I'm detail oriented. I'm an overachiever. I love a good challenge. It's like, bro, what? First off, that's generic. Second off, how do you even quantify that? Like, think about it. Ladies, how many dudes have y'all met? How many dudes have y'all met that will tell you, man, I'm a good man. I'm a good man. And come to find out, you like, bro, you a dog. What are you talking about? Roof. You a dog. And he'll try to gaslight and justify and make excuses for his doggish ways. But in his mind, he don't think. And you like, bro, what evidence do you have that you're a good man? Likewise, on the flip side, fellas, we can say the same thing. How many of us have met women where they tell you, oh, I don't care about how much money a man makes. I don't care about a man, all the success and this and that. And then she fangirling over some celebrity that you know she wouldn't care about if they weren't rich and famous. Or she name drops to you that, oh, I like to date athletes, or most of the men in my past just so happen to be athletes. It's like that doesn't happen by accident, baby girl. One of my homegirls tried to argue to me because she only dated rich men. And she was complaining that she didn't have a lot of options. She was like, Cyrus, dating for me is so hard. I was like, how? I was like, you're gorgeous. You're a fitness instructor baddie. You got a huge butt that ain't a BBL. You got a bomb personality. I was like, probably 95% of men want you. I said, you're just going after the top 5% of dudes. And she was like, no, Cyrus, nobody ever approaches me. She's like, men just don't approach me. So then I asked her one question. I said, so when you go to the gas station, you get out your car just to put gas in your car, you're telling me that men don't come up trying to talk to you, whether homeless men or dudes is like, hey, what's up, girl? Let me, hey, I help you. Let me put some money on the tank. When I said that, her jaw dropped. She was like, oh my God, it happens to me all the time. I said, exactly. So ladies and fellas, this is for both of us. I got smoke for both men and women. Just like we are in the dating market, to recruiters, we look the same way. You look the same way when you put generic stuff on there that is not quantifiable or verifiable. So having stuff on your resume like detail-oriented, I'm a workaholic, I love a challenge, blah, blah, blah. They're like, whatever. They want to see things like, they want to see quantifiable things you did for your previous company. Don't put on your resume what you did. Put on your resume how what you did impacted your company with numbers. They love numbers. So don't just put, if you were in sales, it's easy to do it in sales. If you were in sales, don't just put, I did 100 sales calls a day. You need to put specifically your quote, like your record for closes. You need to put how much money you generated. You need to put quantifiable information on there. And the same goes for any other role or industry. It's just, again, we're short on time. I don't have time to go over every single role, but you got to put quantifiable information on your resume and cover letter. It can't be this BS fluff of just what you did. It has to be what you did and how it impacted the company. Because that's what they're thinking about. How are you going to impact our company? Telling me that you're detail oriented. What does that even mean? What does that mean? You got what is it? It's so many conditions nowadays. What condition is it that people just overanalyze stuff? They're gonna be like, that's how you got a medical issue. So you got to put quantifiable stuff. And again, it needs to be specific to the role. Same thing for your cover letter. Cover letters need to reference the company's culture. Your cover letter shouldn't just be about you and about why you want to work at the company. It should mention certain keywords that line up with the company's culture. Now, again, if you do this properly, every resume and cover letter, this could take roughly about 45 minutes to an hour. So as you can imagine, 20 applications a day, which is what I recommend, you'll be landing at, it says 15 hours. If we're talking about resume and applying, as you can see, again, say it with me, class. It is a job. It's a whole part-time job to get a high paying job. Now, if you want to work at Burger King or Mickey D's, it probably doesn't take as much work. But if you trying to get the big bag, you got to put the big work in. Or you can leverage our AI. That's y'all see the theme. Y'all picking up on the theme where I'm gonna keep showing y'all how to do it. But then also I'm gonna say, hey, I have AI that does it all for you, which is layoff proof AI. So hopefully this is valuable. Again, let me know, because I love to know what I'm sharing, what I'm giving is valuable. I know it's valuable, but I want to make sure I'm communicating it in a way that is giving value to you. And we're short on time. I'm probably only going to do one other section. I'm going to let y'all choose the next section. But before we do, I'm going to look at the chat real quick. I'm gonna look at the chat because my bad. Y'all been sending questions and I've not gotten to y'all's questions. So that's completely on me. My bad. So let me see some of the questions y'all sent in. I'm gonna do real quick. I'm going to briefly stop sharing my screen so y'all can see more of my face. All right, cool. What we talking about? We talking about in the chat. All right, cool. Where are the questions? I need some questions, y'all. Where are the questions? All right. JY says, I knew this since last year, so I take extra time on my resume. Some responses I get personal messages of me not getting a job, but most of the time I get a basic response back. Cool. Someone says, is manual QA job interview mostly demographic type questions? Actually, that's a great question. You just let me know the next section we're going to cover. The next section we're going to cover is how we're going to, my bad, we're going to cover two sections. We're going to cover interview process, like not interview process. We're going to cover interview preparation and how to be fully prepared to crush the interview. Because someone just asked me, what kind of questions do you get in an interview? Our AI fully preps you for every interview that's specific, not just to the company, but it's specific to who is interviewing you at the company. And it gives you a full prep, including it gives you the questions in advance that they're going to ask you. And it gives you the answers to the questions. So we got a interview cheat sheet for you. Anyway, let me get to the other questions. Someone said, in what font should the resume be? I don't know the font. Let me see real quick. I don't know the font. Let's do this. I'm going to share my screen again. I'm going to see the font because there's a few different options that our AI does resumes in. And the options, so this is a brand new account, so I don't have all my info in here. So our AI can make your resume, either you can upload your existing resume and then it'll update your resume to be industry standard, including the font, including the formatting, or you can import from LinkedIn. You can literally connect your LinkedIn to our software and our AI would generate a industry standard resume that's based on your LinkedIn profile. Or of course you can start from scratch. So I'll do this. I'll upload an existing resume. This is going to be an old resume of mine. So it's going to be an old resume. This is literally my 2022 resume. All right. Extract information. So again, this is a brand new profile, so I don't have everything loaded in here. But you'll be able to see in real time. You'll see the different examples and stuff. So boom. So these are the different resume templates you're able to choose from. All of these, for the most part, are industry standard. I'm going to have my team remove a couple of these because some of these are just more flashy resumes. What you really want are these. You want the Harvard Classic or Professional Blue, but the best one is the Harvard Classic resume. So you choose your resume and then you proceed to editor. So look, this is the resume is made, and you can update information. You can put all your stuff in here and update all of it. I don't recommend you put a photo. Don't put a photo on your resume. We give the option to do some of this stuff because these are some things people ask for, but I'm telling y'all, you don't want to put a photo on your resume. It's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. So again, especially because when you're talking about an applicant, and some people think I'm saying that because of your race. Mind you, race matters, gender matters, but the main reason you don't want to have your photo on your resume is, again, because it's not a human who's looking at your resume. It is AI, it's software that's looking at your resume. And the more extra fluff, like random stuff you have on your resume, the higher probability the AI that's scanning your resume, not our AI, but the company's AI, the higher probability they will scan your resume and it'll be confused by your photo and it could throw it off to where it could make your resume rank lower. So you need to make sure what you have on your resume is not no extra fluff. That's why I said don't use those fancy resumes. Do not use. What's funny, when I was first getting my job in tech, my boot camp, the boot camp instructor, when I was doing the tech boot camp, my boot camp instructor, he told me, and he told me this last year. I've been working in tech now for years. Me and him bumped into each other at a tech conference last year. He told me to this day, the worst resume he ever saw was my resume when I first was trying to get in tech. He said when he saw it, it was so hilarious that he showed it to his wife, and he said they were laughing for like 10 minutes clowning me. And he told me he didn't want to tell me at the time. He said, but now that you've been in tech years and you good, he said it's the craziest resume he ever saw. I didn't get a job with that resume. He told me to fix it, but he never told me how much he laughed at my resume. And I thought it was the coolest resume ever. The design and all that. He said, bro, change this. So don't have no fancy schmancy resume. Don't nobody care about that. Unless you're applying for a creative director type of job or something goofy. Not that that's goofy, but y'all know what I'm saying. Unless you're applying for something that is about creativity and design, but even then you still want to play it safe and be careful. So you can download your resume, but again, this gives you your standard resume. And again, you can update it. You can go on summary and look right here. I hope y'all can see this. So even though your resume is already made, we have AI. You can click on the AI for our AI to auto improve. The magic of AI. It auto improves your summary. Look at that. Boom. And now it's reflected on your resume. Our AI can auto improve your professional title. And you can put specific instructions. So look, it changed it to technical sales engineer, pre-sales solution specialist. This makes my resume rank higher. And the list goes on and on. When I go to skills, look at that. It's saying that further skills won't be saved. This is based on industry standards. So I need to lessen the skills, but look at this. I can go to AI. The AI can auto improve the skills. Watch this. Watch this. Boom. Now it's auto improve the skills. So literally our AI can update your resume. Now, again, this is your standard resume that it updates, but every time our AI applies to a job, it auto updates your resume again to match that job. So that way you have a higher probability of getting an interview. Adam says, is it really true that AI rejects people's resumes who are unemployed? That depends on the company. If the company puts that in their settings, I always tell people, don't let a company know that you're unemployed. Always have some type of employment, something on there. All right. Experience, we can keep going. So our AI can update everything that you have. Again, so our AI can update everything to where everything on your resume is industry standard. Industry standard. All right, cool. That being said, so for the person who asked earlier, they were like, hey, what kind of font should I use? The AI does it for you. I don't know the name of the font. I just know that this is based on Harvard's standard of resumes. And it's updated every quarter. So that way we make sure it's in line with the industry standard according to Harvard. All right. Someone says, I work in the AV tech field. Let me tell you, you are definitely needed in this. I'm seeing wages go up just to keep the techs that my got. I'm not sure what you mean that my got. The executives especially don't want new faces. All right, cool. Anyway, so I want to highlight this real quick. Now, the next section we're going to cover, as I mentioned, this wasn't supposed to take so long. As I mentioned, we're going to cover, so I could show y'all salary negotiation, how our AI helps you cover salary negotiation. It also does, it's based on the company, the role, all of the stuff, and it helps. It doesn't just tell you how much to be paid. It tells you how to communicate why you deserve a certain compensation package. It also does networking assistance. A lot of people complain about, man, I go to these tech events, I can't get a job, or ain't nobody hiring. 9 times out of 10, you can get a job from a tech event. But you have to understand a specific networking strategy. That's why we have the networking assistant on here. I already showed y'all auto apply, where it does up to 2,000 applications, and layoff tracker. But what we're going to focus on right now, this is actually my favorite feature we have, is interview preparation. Okay, yeah, good stuff. I got you. I'm about to answer and get back to answering questions. So we're going to cover, I'm going to show y'all the manual way to prepare for interviews so you can crush the interview. And I'm going to show you how to leverage our AI to do the interviews for you. Again, I'm going to go ahead and drop the link in the chat. For those of y'all that are on LinkedIn and YouTube, if you're on YouTube, the link is now in the YouTube chat. If you are on LinkedIn, the link is already in the chat. If you are on Instagram, you just need to comment layoff proof for access. And so now I'm gonna get to some of the questions, and then I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna go over the next section for y'all. All right, so I'm scrolling up. All right. Someone said, I heard that when you copy and paste from ChatGPT or other large language models, they leave a code on every letter. Exactly, that is very true. But our AI doesn't do that, because you're not copying and pasting. Ours is uniquely, it's a unique resume. So that's right. That's why I never tell people to use ChatGPT or use Claude when making stuff, because it does put some type of code or something on. Like there's a lot of software that lets people know this resume or this thing was made by ChatGPT. But our software doesn't do that. Our software makes it from scratch, like with our software. All right, let me look at the questions. What is a good AI field going to if you used to be a teacher? I mean, it's anything. It's just you want to look for what are called ed tech companies or educational technology companies, really. So you want to look for technology. Like, I don't know if you know, there's a teacher who recently came out with AI. It's like an AI teacher in Texas, and it's starting to take off. And so if you can create your own AI educational technology. Like, who here knows about Duolingo? I use Duolingo every single day because I'm working on perfecting my Spanish. And so necesito aprender mi español. Anyway, so Duolingo is an ed tech company. They're educational technology, and they use AI now. So there's a lot of ed tech companies, educational technology companies that are out there. So if you're a teacher, again, you have the domain of education, and you just need to find a role in that space. So you could literally work AI. You can build things for people in the educational space. All right. He says, but what happens if you haven't had experience with working in the industry, like a new grad like me, but with no experience working? How do you put measures with no work experience? I would say an internship. I would say some kind of internship would help you. Like so we have an internship in our boot camp. We're launching our second phase, or not our second phase. We're launching the second cohort of the internship. The last time we did an internship was late last year, and that was kind of our test run. We had a lot we learned from it. So we're launching our next internship. So our students in our boot camp, after they finish the boot camp, if they haven't gotten a job by the time they finish, then we have an internship cohort. So while they're using Layoff Proof, because all of our students get access to Layoff Proof AI, everything I'm showing y'all, while Layoff Proof is getting them interviews, they can be focused on the internships. Either one, do an internship, either paid or unpaid internship. We have several ways that our students make money while in the internship. We have a few different ways that they're able to make money and make passive income. So either one, do some type of internship. I mean, you'd have to get some type of job, do some type of work, realistically, is the best thing. And I mean, and mind you, there are a lot of online platforms where you could do work virtually or from home. There's a lot of stuff you could do. So like, let's say you want to do tech sales. You know, you can, there's online platforms where you can get sales jobs from home, you know, or if you want to do QA, there's platforms that allow you to test out software before it's released to the public and give your feedback to it. So you can do some type of work, some type of job stuff. All right. I'm going to answer a couple more questions, and we're going to get back to the education. What about if you are attending a boot camp or school? Can it bypass the AI and get them an interview if done correctly from what you told us? What do you mean if you're attending a boot camp or school, can it bypass the AI and get them an interview if done correctly from what you told? I'm sorry, I don't understand your question, Adam. All right, cool. Someone says, would this be a good tool for someone transitioning from network engineer to an IT manager? I want to focus more on leading people than doing the tech work. No, 100%. So DevOps Labs, good question. No, 100%. So this, whatever you want to transition to, you literally just tell our AI. So when you first literally log in and get set up, you literally give it your basic profile of who you are. So whether that's auto apply, you know, when you come into auto apply, you literally are able to fill in. See, you can fill in all of your information here. And then you also tell it what type of job you want, all that stuff. And then it focuses on that. And same thing for all the other tools. So that's why this is perfect for people who are trying to transition, but don't have the time or don't want to put in all the work it takes to get other roles. And the AI knows how to communicate what you used to do as a network engineer and remix it to line up with what you want to do now as an IT manager. So you don't have to think through it. The AI can update all of it for you. And it does that for all of the things. All right, I'm gonna answer one more question, and we're gonna get back to the lesson. All right. DevOps Labs for me. My resume and LinkedIn is trash. I need that $99 a month package. Yeah, no, my pleasure. My pleasure. Hopefully you got the link. Let me know if any of y'all don't have the link and you need the link. For those of y'all that are on Instagram, all you got to do is comment Layoff Proof and you will receive the link. Yeah, someone said, don't be afraid to apply to contract opportunities while doing your 9 to 5. Yeah, 100%. That's a really good tip. Really good tip for the people. All right, cool. All right, let's get to the next one. All right, while looking for internships, is it a good idea to put how we use our tech skills on our own personal business? Yeah, 100%. 100%. So if you have your own personal business, all of that matters. Whether you work your own personal business, whether you work in a family business or you work as all of it is work experience, history, all of that stuff. Even if you did stuff at school, at college or high school, if you were a part of some organization and you did some type of work. Work is work across the board. In your opinion, which is a better path to take, DevOps or cybersecurity? It depends on what you're doing in cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is not a job. Cybersecurity is a industry in tech that comprises a lot of different jobs. Same thing with DevOps, but not really. Like DevOps, there are a few different things you can do in DevOps, but for the most part, there's way more limitations in DevOps and cybersecurity. So it depends on what you want to do in cybersecurity. And then that creates a list of other questions and conversations. So, all right, cool. But cybersecurity in general, cybersecurity is in higher demand in general. Maeve Gill says, no question. Just want to thank you, bro. Been listening to you for a year. I'm currently up 200K. That's what I'm talking about. Getting that bag. 200K OTE. Love to hear. Major congratulations. That's what this is about, y'all. That's what this is about. Yeah, that's true, DevOps Labs. For me, that's very true. Yeah, a lot of companies are struggling with it. A lot of companies. All right, cool. So now we're going to talk about interview preparation. So the last segments we're going to cover, God, dog, I didn't know this was going to last so long, y'all. But I hope y'all appreciate this education and stuff. Let me know. But the last segments is I was supposed to cover salary negotiation, but we ain't got time for that. We're going to cover interview preparation because really it's about you getting a job. We're going to cover interview prep and we're going to cover layoff proof. So let's go back to, did I X out of Canva? I know I didn't X out of Canva. I ain't do that. I didn't do that. I did that. That's actually crazy. I cannot believe I did that. Why would I X out of Canva? That's crazy. I think you're crazy. I think you're crazy. Wait, no, something's wrong. Something's off. Oh, see, I didn't X out of it. It's on a completely different All right, cool. All right, back to it. So look, so we covered so far we've covered application process, tailored resume and cover letter. We're now going to talk about interview preparation and avoiding layoffs. Now I'm going to speed through these. And again, with everything we covered, as well as stuff I ain't have time to cover, our AI does all of it for you. Ain't no shame in the plug because this plug is popping. All right, interview preparation. So interview preparation, most people that prepare for interviews, what they typically do, the mistake they make is that they just, a lot of people think because they have education, because they went to college or because they did a boot camp, they think that means that they're going to crush the interview. No, not at all. Why? Because everybody who got an interview with a company has already done a boot camp or they already went to college for that position and role. So just because you have education does not mean you are unique. It doesn't make you special. It's like a dude with money where he hasn't had money. Like he hasn't, like when a dude first becomes rich or he first starts making a lot of money, when he dates a girl, sometimes he can forget that he's not the only dude with money. Sometimes he can forget he's not the richest dude. When I moved to Miami, I was making over $100,000 a month. And I've already posted receipts and stuff online. I was making over $100K a month in 2023 when I moved to Miami. I thought I was popping because I was making over $100K a month. And I was living in Brickell, Miami. If anybody knows anything about Brickell, Miami, you know that making $100,000 a month, it's not whack, but no one is like, whoa, you make $100,000 a month? They're not impressed. Now, maybe they were impressed because I was a young black dude, but that's not that impressive. Most of the guys that I know who live in Brickell, Miami right now, they're making about $1 million a month. I was just hanging with one of my homeboys the last time I was in Miami. He goes by the name of Boniface. Shouts out to Boniface. He's only 29 or 30. He makes $10 million a month on a good month. On a bad month, he makes about $5 million. His goal this year is to do $100 million this year, and he's barely 30 years old, living his best life. So when I first got to Miami and my ego was going in my head, it was my first time making a bunch of money. I'm thinking like, yo, I'm moving a certain way because I'm thinking, yo, I'm big-ish. I'm popping. And then little by little, as I was dating women, I realized a lot of the women were not that impressed by my money. Why? Because most of the guys they dated were making between $50,000 to $500,000 a month. So my $100,000 a month was just kind of normal to them. And so likewise, you doing a boot camp, you having certifications, you going to college for a tech, that does not make you unique. That does not make you unique. So that's why a lot of people in interviews, they don't have proper interview prep. So most people's interview prep is just them going to the company website and then reviewing the company website for about studying it for 30 minutes to 2 hours. And that's not sufficient. It's not sufficient. So what they end up having to do is, or what you need to do, is that you need to research the company before the interview. You need to research the company on Reddit, Glassdoor, Blind, and or LinkedIn for company-specific questions. So there are people online that they posted what questions they were asked in an interview. So you need to go and find this information where people posted the questions they were asked and they posted how they answered the question. So this will help you be prepared. Also, you can prep. You need to make sure that you're preparing by interview. So again, when you're being interviewed, y'all know when you're doing rounds of interviews, those interviews, and I'm zooming in on it, it can consist of a recruiter screening is usually your first interview. This is the interview that really just makes sure you show up on time to an interview, make sure that you're competent, make sure that you're not a scam, or you're not some like weird person. As long as you check out and you're not weird and you seem competent and you actually seem worth doing a second round interview, usually your second round interview is either with the hiring manager or it's with a team member. Depending on the company, they switch the order around. But it's usually with it's usually with the hiring manager. And this is a different type of interview with different types. Sometimes you'll get the same questions sometimes, but they want different answers depending on who is interviewing you. And then you'll get a technical interview or an interview that is much more, someone is kind of grilling you on your skill sets. And even if it's not a technical interview, it's something where it's much more detailed about your knowledge. And also you'll usually have a team member interview and or a panel interview. The team member interview and the panel interview, it's about someone interviewing you to really make sure that you're going to provide value to the team, not that you're going to be a needy person. Now, mind you, every company, tech company, not everyone, but most of them expect you to need support for a while. But they at least want to make sure that you're the type of person where you're going to provide value where you can. So these are 4 out of 5 different types of interviews that you usually get at a tech company. And all of the questions are either different for all of these, which means, or the questions are the same, but they're expecting different answers from each person. So y'all see the complexities of interviewing at a tech company. I know people that work in tech but they haven't had to try to get they've stayed at the same company for 4 years. So they think, oh, I'm gonna just get a job at another company. And they don't realize how hard it is with the interview processes now. So next thing, of course, when you get these list of interview questions, you need to make sure that you are rehearsing the interview answers out loud. You need to hear yourself saying it. It needs to be embedded in you to where you can just flow with it. Also, it will benefit you to practice with a career coach or tech recruiter for real feedback. Now, of course, this costs money. This usually will be anywhere between about $50 to $250 per session. And so, again, or you can use our AI, which obviously is the smarter route to go, where our AI does it helps you with all of it. Blah, 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 blah. Y'all basically get it. All right. Now, what I'm going to do before I show y'all our AI, I'm going to go ahead and quickly jump to the next section. And all right, so we're going to skip past salary negotiation. So I'm going to just jump straight to layoff proof AI. Excuse me, avoiding layoffs. My bad. So I'm about to give y'all some sauce. Some sauce. This is how people avoid being laid off. I'm gonna share this. I'm gonna move through this fast. So for those of y'all that have tech jobs, I hope you are paying attention, because this sauce I'm about to give you can save you from layoffs. So first, you need to, now again, all of this takes work, but you got to ask yourself, do you want to do the work to maintain your job, or do you want to do the work to try to get a new job after you get laid off? I'm sure we all know the answer to that question. So first off, you're going to need to monitor your company in the news, the stock market, and during earnings call. Like, for example, Microsoft just had their earnings call yesterday. Yeah, Microsoft had their earnings call yesterday. Now, you need to monitor your company, because your company is not going to be telling everybody, hey guys, things are looking a little shaky. You need to monitor your company to see what they're talking about when it comes to AI, what they're talking about their plans are, what they're investing in, how their revenue is looking, like the stock market, because your company's revenue and stock market are two different things. Jeff Bezos is famous for mentioning how he always told his executives at Amazon to not look at the stock market. He's like, the stock market never reflects how we're doing as a business. It's just based on other variables and gossip and rumors. Nevertheless, most companies care about the stock market because it scares investors and usually executives. So you're going to need to watch the news, the stock market, and earnings call, because it gives you a projection of what your company's plans are and what's about to happen to your company. The other thing, now for those of y'all that you trade, you do trading like day trading or swing trading, whatever, y'all probably already watch the market to some degree. The next thing you need to do is watch the parent company. Most people don't do this. What is a parent company? A parent company is a company that owns or has oversight over your company. I'll give you all an example. Alphabet is the parent company to Google, to YouTube, and to a bunch of other stuff I can't think of. Gmail, blah, 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 all of that. So Alphabet owns Google and YouTube. Meta, we all know, Meta was an example of a company that created their own parent company, because Facebook owned WhatsApp, owned Instagram, owned they own Facebook Messenger. They now also own Facebook Edits, the Edits app. And Facebook owns a bunch of other smaller companies people don't talk about. They own Oculus, I think. And so Facebook created Meta because they realized they needed a parent company to also own Facebook. So now Facebook doesn't own Instagram, WhatsApp, and all the other companies. Meta is the parent company to all of those other companies. I'll give y'all another last example that most of y'all probably don't know about. I believe it's not Oracle. I believe it's IBM. It's IBM. Somebody correct me. Somebody Google this, please. I believe IBM just bought MailChimp. So MailChimp was bought by IBM like 4 years ago. They got acquired. So IBM is MailChimp's parent company. So again, why am I mentioning this? Because when these parent companies, you have to watch what their plans are and what they're doing, because it can heavily affect you. For example, when Apple, let me know if y'all are old enough to remember this. Apple bought Beats by Dre. They bought Beats by Dre about 10 years ago, 12 years ago. They bought Beats by Dre a long time ago. Apple bought Beats by Dre for about $1 to $3 billion. It was supposed to be 3 or 4 billion, but something happened to where Dr. Dre got online and was bragging about the deal before it was done. And so Apple got upset that they announced the deal early. So then Apple said, okay, cool. Now we're only going to give you 1 billion for it. So they literally were about to make 4 billion, getting online and bragging and flexing. Apple saw that and said, nah, y'all ghetto. We only going to give you 1 billion now. Crazy. They lost $3 billion by bragging online before the deal was done. Stupid. Imagine 3 billion. Oh my gosh, that's oh my God, that's so crazy. So crazy. Anyway, so again, now what happened? Why did I bring up Apple owning Beats by Dre? Yeah, thank you. It was Intuit. You're right. Intuit, my bad. Intuit bought MailChimp. And if you go to MailChimp, you'll see Intuit's like logo or name next to it. Intuit also owns TurboTax. They own a few different companies. Now, why does this matter? Because when a company owns a company, for the most part, the parent company will do something that sometimes it won't even be in the best interest of the company that they bought. It'll be in the best interest of the parent company. Like, let me know in the chat. Did y'all not notice once Apple bought Beats by Dre, they shelved Beats by Dre? They stopped doing marketing for Beats by Dre, all of that. Why did they do it? Because Apple didn't buy Beats by Dre so they could promote it and make money from it. They bought Beats by Dre to silence the company, because Beats by Dre was becoming so popular. Apple wanted Beats by Dre's technology, but the technology was proprietary. And Apple also wanted to silence Beats by Dre so Apple AirPod Pros could take the technology and take over the market, which is literally what they did. And so again, Beats by Dre company, a lot of people got laid off, fired, furloughed, whatever you want to call it. So again, Apple, the parent company, decided something that was not in the benefit of Beats by Dre. Yep, somebody said, I know someone that worked at MailChimp. The person got a big payout. Then they let a lot of people go. Yeah, they let a lot of people go when Intuit bought MailChimp. And a lot of people wanted to leave because MailChimp was a very fun kind of company to work at. Intuit is a little bit more of a traditional type of tech company. They're a little bit more rigid. They're not like the new age tech companies, like the fun, energetic, youthful energy, creative. Intuit is more old corporate tech company. Very few old corporate companies have like the fun energy. A lot of them are old, like have that old energy. Anyway, my bad. Let me get back to protecting yourself from layoffs. So you want to monitor the company news. You want to watch the parent company because decisions come from above. Now, look, y'all know a lot of people online talk about how whenever they have meetings that they don't want to have a camera on, they be complaining like, oh, my manager be asking us to have our cameras on. you better have your camera on in these meetings, because when your camera is on in the meetings, everybody, for all the meetings you're in, people always see your face. They want to talk to you more. They want to engage with you more. It's called building relationships. If people don't see your face, it's a less likelihood they're going to remember you. It's a less likelihood they're going to want to engage with you in the chat. So people got to cut this immaturity of like, I don't want to have my camera on. I don't want to. We're not children. We are adults. We have careers that can make, especially when you're making a certain amount of money, you got to ask yourself, what's more valuable to you? Is it more valuable to you? I wonder if I can shift this around. I knew that was going to happen. Oh, that's so stupid. Anyway, my bad. I'm playing around with this tool right now. Anyway, you got to ask yourself, is it more valuable? Like, y'all know, I ain't about to break it down. Y'all adults. Look, I'm not even here to encourage you to do the right thing. I'm just telling you what to do. If you don't want to do it, it's on you. That being said, so you need to show up visibly on camera, attend as many meetings as possible, even if it is not a meeting that is specific to you. You also need to contribute, not just in your department. You need to engage, network, and contribute with other departments that overlap with your department. This is in Slack if you work remote. This is at your company if you're working in the office. The reason why you do this is because it makes you popular and liked within your team and within your overall org. The other thing you need to do is meet with your manager privately, either weekly or bi-weekly. In tech, this is a normal thing where you can have a one-on-one with your manager, weekly or bi-weekly. Now, when you meet with them, you need to have prepared updates, wins, and goals. Updates, wins, and goals. Meaning you need to, everything you do, y'all know how people be like, man, I did all this work at the company, they didn't appreciate me. You have to document what you do. You gotta flex what you did. You gotta, every time you meet with your manager, you need to have a list. Like, yo, I accomplished this, I did this, I did this. You need to, so post your wins, update them on what you're working on that's gonna benefit the company or benefit the manager and the team. And then also tell them your goals of how you wanna grow and all that stuff. And then also you wanna meet with your department head monthly. So maybe depending on your role or position, maybe you'll meet with your supervisor weekly and not your manager. And you'll meet with your manager monthly. But either way, you need to meet with two different people that are over you. Once, like you need to meet with each of them like anywhere between 1 to 2 times a month. Because they will see you as essential, it will give you favor and they will feel like a mentor to you, to where they will want to give you a heads up about layoffs. They'll want to give you promotion opportunities. They'll want to hook you up with other stuff on the side. Whenever these layoffs happen, what happens is that there's a meeting that happens with the manager and sometimes the supervisor where they're deciding who they're going to keep and who they're going to let go. And I'm telling you, if you're one of those people with your camera off, or you're one of those people where, I mean, if you're not doing this stuff, you are on the chopping block. But if you do these things, trust me, you're 99 times out of 100, you're going to be very secure. Very secure. JD says, you better do a lot of head nodding to show that you're engaging. Yeah, that's true in those meetings. That's very true. You better be head nodding, all that stuff. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Newsom says, I could see that. They don't even know who you are. Or how you are, but I'm sure you meant who you are. Exactly. You got to make yourself known. And again, some people would say, man, it shouldn't take all that. Well, guess what? It does. If you don't want it to take all that, then take your behind to some minimum wage job, or take your behind, start Lyft driving like I used to do. But if you're trying to make the big bucks, hey, if you're trying to go big, you gotta go big. Now again, you also need to look at key signals of hiring freezes. If your company's doing hiring freezes, if a lot of executives are leaving and they're not replacing those executives, if the company is changing the office, or if they're using language talking about restructuring, you need to look at that. Now, this is cool, but our AI warns you 30 to 90 days in advance about your company doing a layoff. And it tells you the likelihood that your department is going to be impacted. So this is the only thing I'm not going to share with y'all how we do it. Because again, no one else has this technology. So I won't share how we do it. What I will say is that for those of you who are already in tech and you just want to avoid layoffs, it's literally just $19 a month. And you get one alert every month. You get to check every month to see if you can check every single month. And again, it protects you 30 to 90 days in advance. Now, if you're in the upper tiers, you get more alerts. You're able to be alerted 2 times a month. We could let you get alerts all the time, I'll be honest. But the reason why I told the team not to do it when they were building this, because I was like, I don't want people just using it willy-nilly with their friends and family. Nah, if your friends and family want to get alerted, they got to sign up for layoff proof. Ain't no free meals out here. But anyway, so let me go back to the features and stuff I was showing earlier. All right, so we covered the resume builder. We didn't get to go over the cover letter generator, but it's AI. AI generates your cover letter specific to the company. Interview preparation. I want to show y'all this real quick. Somebody real quick, go on LinkedIn. I want to show y'all how fire our interview preparation tool is. Somebody real quick, I need you to do something. Go on LinkedIn. I'm going to do it. We ain't got time to wait. I'll go on LinkedIn and I'm going to somebody give me a role. Give me a role. Give me a role give me a job title or a role to look up. Hurry up. Come on. Y'all moving slow. Somebody give me a role real quick. I want to show y'all our AI, how it literally gives you the interview questions. All right, network engineer. All right, cool. Somebody said Linux admin, network engineer. All right, cool. So cool. So we'll do a senior network engineer. Let's find a cool company. Ooh, AWS. All right. DCO Tech. I don't know what the flip that is. What we got? All right, we ain't got time for this. Here we go. Hertz. We'll do Hertz. Network engineer at Hertz. All right. So there's 2 ways to do it with our software. You can either copy the link to the job posting, or you can go specifically to the actual breakdown of the position. So right here, we'll go into job description and a day in the life. So all you need to do is copy all of this. You don't need to copy what you'll get. Literally, you can just copy this right here. Now watch this. So again, there's two ways to do it. You can either post it. Now again, this is the job description. Now our technology does what's called data scraping. It does data scraping across LinkedIn, across Glassdoor, across salary.com, across a myriad of platforms where people tell you, they post what you get asked in the interview and they post the answers to it. Now watch this. I'll put networking engineer. Is that the title? Yeah, network engineer. Yeah, network engineer. So network engineer. And watch this. So look, also y'all pay attention to this. Let me zoom in. You choose the interview type. So what kind of interview it is. And you choose who is interviewing you. So our technology, our software is specific to the interview type. Now you can do a general, but you can do an interview type and who is interviewing you. So we'll put on here HR recruiter, and we'll put behavioral. Watch this, generating the questions. So it does data scraping from online to find the questions you're going to be asked in the interview. So it's literally a cheat sheet. It's a cheat sheet for the interview process. Now, it doesn't just give you the questions. It also, you're able to answer the questions and it grades your answer. And then it gives you a better answer. It gives you a perfect answer. So boom, here we go. And see, it says start practice right here in the top right. So look, generated questions for network cloud engineer. So look at this. First question that you're likely to be asked, tell me about a time when you had to troubleshoot a complex network issue that affected both on-premises and cloud environments. How did you approach the problem and what was the outcome? Now look at this. Our software also tells you why you're being asked this question in the interview. You need to know why. This is to assess the candidate's real-world experience with hybrid networking, their troubleshooting methodology, ability to work under pressure, and how they communicate technical issues to different audiences. So that's the question. So these are the questions. Let's give you a bunch of questions. These are questions you'll be asked in the interview. Now watch this. You don't want to just know the questions. You also want to be able to provide the answers. All right, so let's go. Start practice. So again, tell me about a time when you had to troubleshoot a complex network issue that affected both on-premise and cloud environments. Okay, I'm gonna give some BS answer. When I had to shoot the network, again, this is a ghetto answer. A ghetto answer. When I had to shoot the network, it was because he was my ops and we were beefing. Obviously, you wouldn't answer it like this. It helped me keep the job though. LOL. So this is my answer, my ghetto answer. Now watch what happens. Oh yeah, I gotta answer all of them. I just put blah for all the answers. I'm just put blah, blah, blah. So this is really just to show you how our AI corrects your answer. So now I get scored. It's generating based on my answers. Let me look at the chat real quick. Somebody said Linux engineer, SOC analyst. All right, now look at this. It scored my answer 1 out of 10. Now, it didn't just score my answer. It also gives me the AI gives me feedback. Now, look at this. This answer is completely inappropriate and unprofessional. It contains violent language and shows no understanding of network troubleshooting. For a network cloud engineer role, you need to provide a specific technical example using the STAR method: situation, task, action, result. Describe a real network issue, your systematic troubleshooting approach, tools used, and how you resolved it across hybrid environments. And then it does the same for the rest of these. This one-word response shows no effort or professionalism. So literally, it gives you the breakdown of how to answer the questions. So it analyzes when you're joking, when you're not being serious. And mind you, even if you provide really good answers, let's say you get a 7 out of 10 or an 8 out of 10, it'll tell you what to do to get a 10 out of 10. And so, and it does it for all of these. Now, on the flip side, it also gives you questions for you to ask the interviewer. How many of us know in the interview, they ask you, hey, do you have any questions for me? And if you say, I don't have any questions, that looks bad. If you say, I don't have no questions, you answered all my questions. That's the most BS generic thing you could say. But then on top of that, when people ask questions, the questions are usually unique. So what do you like about working at the company? How long have you worked at the company? Like, it's like, what is that? These questions are specific to the company and to the role. So your questions to the interviewer for this specific role: what are the biggest networking challenges the organization is currently facing in its hybrid and cloud transformation? And how would this role contribute to solving them? So you want to know, like, hey, what challenges are y'all currently facing right now before I come on board and work there? And I want to know, like, how this position is going to help solve that problem. Ooh, you got them thinking. They're like, oh, snap. Like, you're not just trying to get the job. You're trying to figure out what's currently going on and how you fit into the puzzle. And look at this. It tells you why this is a good question. It says good impression. It shows strategic thinking and genuine interest in contributing to the company's key challenges, demonstrating that the candidate thinks beyond just performing tasks to solving business problems. The list goes on. How does the networking team collaborate with other engineering teams, and what opportunities exist for cross-functional leadership and influence? Okay, what does success look like for someone in this role for the first 12 to 18 months? This is actually a very standard question. This is a general question, but still an elite question to ask them, okay, what does success look like? What does that look like over the next 12 to 18 months? And how is performance tracked or measured? And the list again. So our software gives you the questions you're going to be asked in the interview, specific to who is interviewing you. It grades your answers, gives you a better answer, and it gives you a list of questions to ask the person. And on top of this, it protects you from layoffs. It applies to hundreds of thousands of jobs for you, and a myriad of other stuff. So that's it. So we covered, again, we skipped over salary negotiation just because we were short on time. But we got to cover application process, tailor the resume and cover letter, interview preparation, avoiding layoffs, and of course, how our AI is able to do all of this for you. So you can do it yourself. I gave y'all a lot of sauce, a lot of value on how to do all of this stuff yourself. And for those of y'all who you like, yo, I ain't trying to do all of this, our AI does it for you. And so that being said, I will, one last time, I'll drop the link in the chat. Those of y'all that are on YouTube, the link is in the chat for Layoff Proof. For those of y'all that are on LinkedIn, all you have to do is go into the comment section on LinkedIn and you'll see that the link for Layoff Proof, I posted it there. And if you are On Instagram, all you have to do is comment layoff proof, and you receive a DM with the link for layoff proof. So I'm gonna answer a few more questions. It's 10:19. I'm gonna answer like a good 3 questions, and then I'm hopping up off here. But let me know in the chat, was this valuable to y'all? Whether you showed up later, you're here for the whole time. Let me know, was this valuable to you? What was the favorite part, your favorite part that I covered? What was something you learned? Like, give me some kind of feedback. Let me know if you want me to do more of these, because I got more stuff I could talk about. Like, I know online, people usually just see me interview people that have gotten jobs and I've helped get jobs. But oftentimes people don't really know how much I actually know about getting a job in tech. And so sometimes online, people just be like, oh, he just telling people about boot camps and stuff. It's like, bro, if it was that easy, everybody would get a job just from doing a boot camp. The boot camp helps, but you need a little bit more sauce. Yes, it was. And the resume part was helpful. All right, let me stop sharing my screen. I'll just go back to home. Yes, it was. Okay, somebody said I was late, but this looks valuable, especially the resume interview questions prep. That's fire. That's fire. All right, I'm trying to find some more questions. Somebody said, should I put my education above my work experience on my resume? No. Your work experience should come first on your resume. Your education comes below your work experience, and then your skills and stuff is usually around there. Let me actually look at the resume builder so we can look at the order. I forgot to save it because this is a new profile. I must have passed it. All right, here we go. This light low-key starting to kill me. Do you have a preferred boot camp to get into cybersecurity? Yes, there is a GRC boot camp that I recommend. The instructor currently works at 2 different companies as a GRC analyst, and so so I recommend that one. Comment if you where are you at? I guess you're on YouTube. Yeah, if you go on my Instagram and you comment AI career and you book a call, it'll literally be like my team will refer you to the boot camp. So it's not my boot camp, but my team will refer you to it. And that boot camp, they are a partner of ours to where we have them with Layoff Proof. So you'll get access to Layoff Proof. You'll get access to Layoff Proof at a discount. So can you send me your link for your internship offer? The internship is only through the bootcamp. It's only for our bootcamp students. So we only offer like special stuff to our bootcamp students because we gotta prioritize them and focus on them. How important are cover letters? I'm having trouble gauging those. It depends on the company. So it depends on if the company wants it. So don't think about how important it is. Think about does the company ask for it or not? That's really what it's about. If a company doesn't ask for one, then it's unnecessary. If they ask for one, provide one. I reached out to you on Instagram about your last live. No one reached out. Yeah, my bad. I get a lot of DMs. That's why I usually tell people on my Instagram to comment certain things because then it'll give a specific link. I can't coach people in the DMs. Not saying you ask for coaching. Not saying like you were asking questions, but the DMs for me are. That's why I get too many DMs, and so that's why I just tell people just to comment certain trigger words and stuff. But I would say drop your Instagram name in the chat, please. If you hurry up and drop it in the chat, I can see it and I can check our messages and I can send you a quick response. Because maybe your message probably shows up in like the hidden folders or something like that. All right, y'all. So I don't see any more questions specifically from YouTube and LinkedIn. I can't see the Instagram section right now, so my bad, Instagram. If y'all put some questions that I can't see. Oh, finally. All right, perfect. Cool. All right, y'all. That's it. I don't see any other new questions. So I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm trying to hold off for the person to drop their Instagram handle, but it doesn't like they posting it. So I'm gonna take a sip of my drink. If I don't see you post your Instagram handle, then I'm gonna just have to say goodnight. Okay, there we go. All right, bronze. Oh, yeah, I see. Oh, yeah. Okay. Huh. All right, I'm gonna send this to my team right now. All right, I just sent it to my team, so they'll follow up for you. Someone said, is it good to address the hiring manager by name in our resumes? What do you mean by name in our resumes? Is it good to address the hiring manager by name in our resumes? I don't know what you mean by that. Yeah, so I see why somebody earlier said, do we put our education at the top? No, it goes at the bottom. But maybe you were confused because when it does show crap, I am about to do all this again. I'm gonna use my actual updated profile in the future if I do this again. But either way, your education goes at the bottom. So either way, y'all. All right, y'all. I'm going to let y'all go. Y'all be blessed. Y'all have a blessed and beautiful night. Again, for those of y'all on Instagram, if you want Layoff Proof AI to apply to jobs for you, get you interviews, reach out to the recruiter with the DM script and everything else, salary negotiation, interview preparation, and protecting you from layoffs. If you're on Instagram, comment Layoff Proof. If you're on YouTube or LinkedIn, I already posted the link in the chat. So just check the chat for the link, click on the link, and go ahead and sign up. There's no commitment involved. Once you get a job, my encouragement for you is just to downgrade to the layoff radar. So that way you really only need it to protect you from layoffs. Also, when you sign up, let us know after you've used it for a week or a couple weeks. Let us know if you would like to be an affiliate. The cool thing about being an affiliate with Layoff Proof is that you actually get recurring like affiliate value. So if someone signs up, like it's not just a one-time affiliate commission. You actually get affiliate commission every single month that they're using it. And the reason why we do that is because I made my first $1 million by being an affiliate. And one thing that made it really hard was that I wasn't like the boot camps and stuff and the businesses I was promoting, they were getting long-term value. I wasn't getting any long-term money. So it made it very hard for me to do it. I was very blessed to do it, but it was really hard. So I like to be able to reward people or bless people long-term as long as I'm getting blessed long-term. So someone said, is there a trial? Are you talking about for Layoff Proof? No, there's not a trial. It's mentioned on the site. It's probably mentioned because at one point in time for our boot camp students, we offered a trial for our boot camp students. And again, this is my first time announcing this publicly. We've had this for about 9 months now. It was my first time announcing it publicly. And so it probably mentions that because it was certain information we didn't have on there, and we allowed a trial, I think like a 3-month trial for our boot camp students to be able to use it. And we had a trial code. So, but no, if you want a trial, if you're hesitant or something like that, which I'm not saying you are, maybe you are, maybe you aren't, it's totally cool, your prerogative. I would say just do the $19 a month. Again, it comes with AI that applies to jobs. It comes with a lot of stuff. It's just at the time I told them not to include it because it was going to cost us more money. But my team has found a more affordable way. So this does include applying to 25 jobs a month, resumes, all that good stuff. Yeah, so if you want to just test it out with this, see the value of it. Maybe this is all you need to get a job, but if you need to upgrade, you need to upgrade. So again, don't be confused about what's X'd out. This does come with resume. It comes with a tailor resume, tailor cover letter, recruiter DM script, and also layoff radar as well. So yeah. So if you ain't got $19, I ain't talking about you specifically, but anybody. If somebody's like, man, I don't have $19 to even start off with the low tier, start Lyft driving, door dashing, something, because $19 is $19. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. You say I'm not hesitant, just in between blessings. Yeah, no, I get that. I get that entirely. Yes, I get it entirely, 100%. So yeah, just I guess wait till you're not in between your blessings, and once you got your next blessing. Super cool, super cool. All right, y'all. Y'all be blessed. Y'all have a great night. Oh, somebody said, like, if the hiring manager's name is Susan, we start off by saying, "Dear Susan," in our summary. In your summary for your resume, you must mean your cover letter. You must mean your cover letter. It's not necessary to do that unless the person who posted the job, if you have their name, whoever posted the job, you can put their name, and then you can put like, something like next to it, like my bad, my brain is turning into jelly. Basically, you can put their name or put like or whoever else, whoever else this is concerning, or whoever else is reviewing the cover letter. Or you could put Susan and team, or Susan and the AWS team, or the Delta team, whatever company it's about. What's your bootcamp link? So if you just go to techisthenewblack.com, it'll direct to it. And then we have a VSL. So you just type in techisthenewblack.com, and then you'll be able to book a call with the team. And you can let the team know if you want cybersecurity, AI engineering, or tech sales, or if you just want our tech career accelerator, which it's literally, it's like 10 different modules of today's session, as well as, of course, cohort, community, all that good stuff. Layoff proof, it comes with a month of layoff proof, all that good stuff. All right, cool. And that's for anybody. Just go to Tech is the New Black. I'll drop it in the chat. techisthenewblack.com. And we have different ways for you to make money while you're doing the boot camp. So you don't need to wait until you get a job in tech in order to be able to make money. All right, somebody said, thanks for this live. I don't know your name. LOL, but thanks. Yeah, my name is Cyrus. So yeah, for those of y'all that don't know me, my name is Cyrus. It's my pleasure to do this. I might do more stuff like this in the future. I just need to restructure my schedule and restructure my life. So for those who don't know, I have worked in I've worked in tech sales for a few different companies. I've also worked in robotic processing automation. It sounds really fancy, but it's just basically creating like automation bots. And I've also worked as an AI engineer, and I've co-founded a few different tech startups. Every tech business I've ever done have all made over $1 million within their first year, which is a huge milestone, a huge blessing. I've had three tech businesses that have all made over $1 million within their first year. And so, wait, no, that's a lie. My first one, it's probably like 15 months. Yeah, 15 months. My second one, it took about a year to make $1 million. And then the most recent one, which is my, I have an AI business that's outside of this, that has nothing to do with none of the stuff we talked about. We were able to make $1 million in roughly almost 6 months. So anyway, y'all be blessed. Thank y'all for tuning in.